cove there with rocks. I have sailed in behind these rocks many times myself.
Can a submarine get in between those rocks without being observed?
Yes, if you know the channel.
When I get there, what'll I do?
You will get in touch with two friends of mine. The Seal and an Otto, two black men. They're wonderful hunters. They will hide us in the hills.
You going with me?
Of course. You are too young to be out on your own. Let us go tell Captain Brackett.
Wait till Potbelly hears about this. He'll jump out of his skin!
I would like to see this kind of jump. Come.
What was that?
That? Oh, that was nothing, sir.
Sounded to me like someone trying to send a message. It sounded like code.
That wasn't code, sir. That was the tin roof cooling off at night.
Oh.
Sir, if you'd like to go back to your office, I'll let you know.
Oh, no. I don't want to add to your problems. I'll stay right here.
Yes, sir.
Well, we ought to be getting a message by now. We ought to be getting a message, that's all. We've had time to land and set up an observation post by now, don't you think so? Oh.
Captain Brackett?
Yeah, what is it? Don't interrupt me now, Bill. I'm very busy.
It's about this CV out here, sir. Commander Perkins over at Operations estimates Bill's little act alone cost the Navy over $600,000.
600? Oh, my God, I'm going to get that guy. Send him in here. Let me know the minute you get any word. No matter what I'm doing, just break right in.
Yes, sir.
Get in there. Captain Brackett, this is Lieutenant Buzz Adams.
Hey, Adams. One man like you in an outfit is like a rotten apple in the barrel. Just what did you feel like sitting down there in that little rubber boat in the middle of Empress Augusta Bay with the whole damn Navy Air Force trying to rescue you? How the hell can you fall out of a PBY anyway?
Well, sir, Jap anti-aircraft gun hit a hole in the side of the plane and I fell out. It was a big hole and I just sucked me right out.
Oh, so I understand that you hid in the baggage of a plane that you knew was taking off for a very dangerous mission. Oh, you had nerve enough to do that, all right. And then the minute an anti-aircraft gun hit the plane, you fell out. The wind just sucked you out. You and your little parachute. Well, I don't think you fell out, Phyllis. I think you jumped out. Now, which did you do?
Well, sir, kind of half and half. Like, you know what I mean if you get the picture.
Oh, this is one of the most humiliating things that's ever happened to me. Adams, when did you discover he was on a plane?
Well, sir, we've been out just about an hour. Now, it was still dark, I know, and we were just flying over the Marie Louise when that Japan aircraft spotted us and made that hit. Now, that's when that's when this fella here left the ship. Now, I only circled one time, sir, just time enough to fly back over and drop him a rubber raft. Some New Zealanders in P-40 spotted him, though, and they kept circling around in the air above him while I flew over to the other side of the island and slid down alongside that sub and dropped Joe and the Frenchman off. Now, by the time I got back to our side of the island, boy, our Navy boys was flying around in the air above this guy like a big swarm of bees. You'd have thought he was a $90 million cruiser they was trying to protect. There must have been 55, 60 planes.
Oh, I counted 62.
Oh. Well, you're not far off, Adams. Harbison tells me this thing costs the Navy about $600,000.
Well, $600,000.
Just what the hell are you so happy about?
Reminds me of my uncle. You remember my uncle, the one I used to tell you about? Used to tell my old man I wouldn't be worth a dime.
Just, why would you do a thing like this, Phyllis? I mean, what would make a man do a thing like this?
Well, sir, a man's got to keep on the move, if you know what I mean. If he gets feeling held down again, he's got to take a trip and pick up some souvenirs and get all over the place.
How did you find out about it?
Well, I didn't exactly know about it. I overheard Lieutenant Cable talking to Mr. DeBeck, and right away I knew there was something going on. A project. That's what I like, Captain. Projects, don't you?
Billis, you've broken every regulation in the book, and by God, Captain and I are going to throw it at you.
Captain, may I interrupt for just a moment? Now, my co-pilot, sir, he saw this whole thing, and he and I both agree that this fella Billis, well, by falling out of that airplane, he caused kind of a diversionary action. That's right. Yes, while I was flying over there and putting Joe and the Frenchman down there, he was over here throwing off all those airplanes, and I was able to land and drop Joe and the Frenchman off safely.
Just what do you want me to do? Pin a medal on this guy?
I don't want any medals, Captain. But I could use a little freedom to swing around and, if you know what I mean.
Get out of here.
Sir,
Get out of here.
Oh,
Get the hell out of here! Well, Potbelly, what would you have done?
I would have thrown him in the brig, and I will too if I get a ghost of a chance.
Captain.
And so we are here. This is our first chance to send news to you. We have made contact with former friends of mine. We have set up quarters in a mango tree. No room, but a lovely view. First, the weather. Rain clouds over Bougainville, the Treasuries, and New Georgia. We expect rain in this region from 9 o'clock till 2 o'clock. Pardon? Oh, my friend Joe corrects me. 0900 to 1400. And now our military expert, Joe.
All you Navy, Marine, and Army pilots, write this down. Surface craft, 19 troop barges headed down the bottleneck. Speed, about 11 knots. Ought to pass Bananka about 2000 tonight. Escorted by heavy warships. There ought to be some way to knock off a few of these.
Oh, boy.
As for the aircraft, there is a little indication of activity at the moment.
We'll be going out
22
in waves
bombers
tonight.
Betty's
Waves.
50600 headed southwest.
Sit down, Bill.
There was fighter escorts, not heavy. They should
You
be...
know what I like, Bill? Projects. Don't you?
From Bougainville. Their course is approximately 23 degrees. We believe heavy bombers will follow.
Well, gentlemen, here's the hot tip for today. Joe and the Frenchmen have spotted 20 surface craft heading south from Bella La Bella. Now, it's 2 weeks before Christmas, gentlemen. Let's give those two characters a present. A beautiful view of no ships coming back through. Okay with me? Let's go.
Just have to tell her something sometime. She hasn't seen him for 2 weeks now. She might as well know him now.
All right, send her in. I always have to do the tough jobs.
Captain Bracken, I know this isn't regular. It's about Emile DeBeck. I went over to his house last week to, well, you know how people have arguments and then days later you think of a good answer? Well, I went over to his house and he wasn't there. I even asked his children. He has 2 little children, and they didn't seem to know where he'd gone. At least I think that's what they said. They only speak French. And then tonight, while I was on duty in the ward, well, there are a lot of fighter pilots over there. The boys who knocked out that convoy yesterday, and, well, you know how fighter pilots talk about emoluments and wingovers and things. Well, I usually never listen, but they kept talking about a Frenchman. And the Frenchman said this, and the Frenchman said that, and I was wondering if the Frenchman they were talking about would be my Frenchman.
Yes, Miss Forbush, it is. Well, I couldn't tell you before, but well, as a matter of fact, if you wait here a few moments, you can hear his voice.
Boys, where is he?
With Lieutenant Cable, behind enemy lines.
Behind.
Captain.
Hello. Hello, my friends and allies. My message today must be brief and sad. Lieutenant Cable, my friend Joe, died last night. He died from wounds he received 3 days ago. I will never know a finer man. I wish he could have told you the good news. The Japanese are pulling out and there is great confusion. Our guess is the Japs will try to evacuate troops from Cape Esperance tonight. You may not hear from us for several days. We must move again.